Odyssey Twitter by Caitlin Mapp and Lexi Bell. Lexi and I created a Twitter page to exhibit the characters of the Odyssey because this form of social media allows users to connect and share their unspoken feelings with their community. Even though Twitter did not exist when this text was originally composed, we were able to infer what these characters would have said based on their words and actions in the Odyssey. You will see that the main characters we focused on in our presentation are Odysseus, Penelope, Telemachus, and Polyphemus. The first Twitter we will look at is Odysseus's. I created the Twitter handle I want to go Homer for Odysseus because the Odyssey is a story about Odysseus' journey home from the Trojan War and all the struggles he faced along the way. I added an R to the end of the handle because the Odyssey was also written by an author named Homer. Under Who to Follow, I recommend friends for Odysseus, including his wife Penelope, his son Telemachus, and the goddess that guided him and his family through much of the book, Athena. Some of these hashtag trends I created are The Real Homer, Hope for Odysseus, Suitors Suck, because the suitors were trying to steal the hand of his wife and his title as King of Ithaca, Trojan War, because this war was the reason he left Ithaca in the first place, Calypso Sucks, Calypso was the evil monster who kept him captive for many years, and Penelope and Odysseus Forever, and Rosy Fingered Dawn, which was a common phrase repeated in the book. I will now read some of the tweets from Odysseus' page, starting from the bottom and in chronological order. Odysseus says, "Would do anything for my brothers," and tags Menelaus, Ajax, and Agamemnon. He also hashtags Oath of Unity and Helen Rocks. The Oath of Unity was an alliance between Odysseus and Helen's other suitors who promised to stick together. Next, Odysseus tweeted, "Hey, it's me, Nobody," and hashtagged Silly Cyclops, Gotcha Polly, because when Odysseus was with the Cyclops Polyphemus, he tricked him and told him his name was Nobody. Odysseus also attached a meme saying, "Who does Polyphemus hate more than Odysseus? Nobody." Because when Odysseus stabbed Polyphemus in the eyeball, he thought that a king named Nobody did it. Polyphemus tweeted back on Odysseus' page, "Odysseus, you are going to pay for what you did. My daddy is going to get you." Because when Odysseus revealed his real name, then Polyphemus sent his dad Poseidon to avenge him. Odysseus also tweeted, how I miss my dear Penelope. Calypso, please set me free. Hashtag crazy monster. Because even though he was tempted with the love and affection of several powerful goddesses, including Calypso on his journey home, he remained loyal to his wife, Penelope. Next, Odysseus tweeted RSVP information for Elpenor's funeral and hashtagged friendship and dead people have feelings too, because Elpenor was a soldier that accompanied Odysseus on his expedition and died. When Odysseus met Elpenor again in the underworld, he requested that he provide him with a proper funeral. The following tweet from Odysseus is in the style in which Twitter users often use this social media platform to express their feelings and call out friends who have wronged them. He says, "Real friends listen to your wise advice and respect your leadership. Real friends don't ignore your instructions not to eat Helios' cattle. Real friends don't get your whole crew killed by an angry sun god. Hashtag stupid Eurylochus. Listen next time." To call out his so-called friend, Eurylochus, for not listening to Odysseus' directions to not eat the cattle of the sun and angering Helios, which then led to the entire crew being punished. Lastly, Odysseus posted another meme saying, "When you see suitors trying to take your wife," with a photo of angry Kevin Hart. This is related to one of the final events of the novel when Odysseus returned to his kingdom and found that all his suitors disrespecting his palace and oppressing his queen. So he, like an angry Kevin Hart, decided to fight them all.
For my part of the project, I chose to do Twitter pages for both Penelope and Telemachus, the mother and son pair. Starting with Penelope's Twitter page, I wanted viewers and followers to realize that her husband Odysseus is gone and has been missing from her life for a very long time period, and that she is very lonely. I tweeted my thanks for Penelope mostly based off of her life moments that I had noticed her struggling with in these stories for the most part. She seemed like a very caring lady who cared deeply about making sure her son grew up to become a great young man and maybe one day even a king, while continuing to stay a loving, devoted wife while her husband was not there. One of her hobbies was weaving and spinning yarns, and I wanted to incorporate that in because in the modern day world, people often have hobbies that they love to talk about and do in their free time with family or friends. Although her husband was gone for a long time and she had many opportunities with other men, she chose to stay with her husband and be loyal because she loved him dearly. I made a tweet about the suitors in her house because they were the ones who wanted her to move on from her husband, remarry, and I noticed her often leading them on and making them think she was going to do what they wanted, but she stayed strong and stayed truthful and faithful to her husband, even though he was still gone. For Telemachus, my tweets had mostly to do with him rebelling against his mother, him having father issues without having a father present in his life, and him running off and doing random things that he thought would be fun for him. Since his dad had been gone for 20-something years, he never had the opportunity to grow up with a dad as many fortunate kids are today. So I tweeted about him missing from his life, for others to understand that having a father figure and a dad in a child's life is a very key part of a development and helps a child become a stronger and better person. Telemachus came off to me as wanting to obey his mother while also remaining true to his dad's rules, even though he was not around. He seemed to often feel like the suitors were taking advantage of the situation, and he sometimes rebelled to get away from it. I tweeted about the bow because he came across his father's weapons and decided to play with them. The scene of the bow struck me as his key development period and learning skills. When he found the bow, he tried to use it and set it up, but he couldn't quite do it. He was not able to achieve his father's wonderful skills, but he will keep trying because he seems very determined.
The last Twitter we made was for Polyphemus. I created the Twitter handle Poseidon's Cry Baby for Polyphemus because he's a cyclops, a monster with one eye, and when Odysseus attacked him, he would cry to his dad, Poseidon. Polyphemus's friend recommendations include Odysseus because they battle each other in the novel, and Poseidon because he's his father. Some of the hashtag trends on Polyphemus's Twitter page are Poly vs. Odysseus, hashtag wine drunk, because Odysseus got Polyphemus drunk off his wine so he would be easier to attack. Hashtag nobody is the woat, because Polyphemus thought that nobody was the person who attacked him, and woat stands for worst of all time. Starting from the bottom, Polyphemus tweeted, Happy Father's Day to the most divine dad, tagged Poseidon, and hashtag cool dad because Poseidon is Polyphemus' father. Next, he tweeted about a party in his cave with booze provided because when Polyphemus trapped Odysseus and his men in the cave, Odysseus gifted Polyphemus wine to drink as if they were having a party. Then, Odysseus tweeted a meme on Polyphemus' page saying, I don't always drink, but when I do, I make sure Polyphemus gets drunk first. Because Odysseus gave Polyphemus that alcohol so that he would become intoxicated and easier to fight. In the next two tweets, Polyphemus says, Help! Nobody's attacked me! Hashtag drunk, hashtag can't see. Because again, he thought the name of his attacker was Nobody. But then he corrects himself in the next tweet saying, Odysseus has attacked me, because, stupidly, Odysseus revealed his real identity before escaping from the cave. Finally, Polyphemus tweeted a picture of a black screen and says, Beautiful view of Sicily today, hashtag thanks Odysseus. Because Odysseus stabbed his one and only eye, and now he's blind and will never see his hometown of Sicily ever again.